we've given everything up and we started back at like zero again.
But also makes me sometimes a lot more impatient about how crazy different places are.
I sort of went through periods where I was annoyed that we'd gathered so much stuff over the years, because then we're now in this position where we had to start getting rid of it.
I don't want to become that older person who is whinging and moaning about that freaking small thing.
Today we're in Pardana Park, the botanical park, and we're meeting up with Sarah and Lee, who are from the UK and are travelling around Southeast Asia after leaving their jobs, selling their life possessions and deciding to just exit the UK and go and travel. So this next interview is with Lee and Sarah. Thank you so much to them for sitting and chatting with us. So I kind of need to use this for my microphone and I'll edit in a little bit. But
let's go.
How's it going? What's going on, folks? Lee and Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah Lee Gatto.
I mean, I feel slightly devastated I wasn't the first original person to just come up with a cake name.
No.
And when Lee sent me yesterday your social media tags, I was like, oh, what have you done? Just there's nothing original about me at all. Right?
So we've already taken the mickey out of ourselves. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sarah Lee like Gatto.
Just out of curiosity, which is your favourite Sarah Lee cake?
It's got to be the chocolate.
Oh, for sure.
It's got to be the chocolate.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd lemon meringue.
Yeah, I think that's the original.
How long have you been travelling for? What's been going on?
Wow.
When did you leave the UK?
Wow.
Why
Right.
did you leave the UK?
Yeah.
Tell me about
What's
it.
the story?
Your videos? No, not at all. We've been meaning to leave the UK for many years, and we couldn't because we had a dog.
Yes.
And that was 2015. We did on our first sabbatical, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We went away for three months, and we did the whole world. Went around the world in 3 months. Absolutely smashed it. From the UK through Malaysia, Thailand, Australia, New Zealand, and then drove from Los Angeles to New York and hooked up with my brother in New York and did 3 months and then went back home. Mm-hmm. From that moment, we're like, there's more to life than going back to work. We dreaded going back to work. So from there on in, what happened next?
Yeah, so I think what we tried to do, we tried to settle back into it again. And because we have Ruby, our dog, so my mum and dad looked after her for 3 months, came back excited as anything to see her, settle back into life. We got a new pad, didn't we? A new bungalow.
Or a new house.
And then I saved for probably the rest of her life there. So it's another...
5, 6 years. 2021 she passed, bless her.
We were, I'd say we were content.
We had to be because we had commitment.
And then we were just doing our holidays. So we were always those people at work, oh, can I have 3 weeks off? And you feel so awkward. And you're just like, and I think that was becoming harder. So as our jobs, like particularly mine was sort of, as I was going up the ladder, it was getting harder and harder. And I noticed more and more people around me were just taking like a week off here and there. And I thought, this isn't going to...
Or long weekends when you're mad.
Yeah, and I'm like, this isn't going to...
What were the jobs? What was the careers looking like?
So mine was HR. You were IT, weren't you? And I'd been in HR. That's all I'd ever done, really.
But because you got to director level, I never saw it. Sarah was like someone said this to you once, didn't they? You're like a swan, but your legs must have been paddling so fast underneath it, just keeping that happy norm.
Yeah.
So because you went up the ladder, I never really saw it. I was just in IT. I was in a very stable job. I'm not lazy, but I like to coast. And that's not ideal for what we're trying to do now, but I'm dialing up my creativity and everything else.
Come on, Lou.
So I did IT for 30 years nearly, and then did loads of different jobs, lots of IT job things, all very similar, desktop support and management, and then come out of management and did lots of boring stuff, but it paid the bills, didn't it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I say we were okay. We got our holidays in. Luckily, I had a really good boss who did let me take the time off, but it doesn't stop you feeling guilty of like always wanting these like 3 weeks, then your holiday runs out. So I think we started to get that frustration of thinking we just want to have more like control, not feeling like it's just all set out for you.
Want to write our own story.
This is the next X number of years, and all you're going to have is just your holiday each year, and then just the same day, like in and out.
Usual Groundhog Day.
Yeah, I think that started to dawn on us, and then it's almost like I think that feeling. I don't know if you got it when you sort of get that feeling. You're a little bit like, oh God, like this isn't going to work, is it? We're not going to be able to stay here because we're not content enough. And some days we kept saying we want to plug ourselves back in, We want to plug ourselves back into the matrix and just be happy with it because it's easier
The thing is,
than doing what we
thing
want
is, we
to
sort of
try
had
and do.
we sort of had the perfect life as well. We were extremely lucky. I fell into IT in the 90s. You did the HR stuff. The money was coming in. We were really comfortable. No children. We could go anywhere in the world. It was, you know, we weren't fancy. We're not 5 stars. We're like 2.5 and a treat of 4-star. Occasionally we'll go, and we don't like fancy restaurants. We just literally eat healthy stuff where we can.
Yeah.
So I think coming back to the fact is that's what was happening. My boss was great, gave me as much time off as I wanted, and then I changed boss, and then he become a bit of a not nice to actually, you know, talk to the whole team and go, Lee wants Christmas off. And it's like, so what does everyone else want to do? And this is in January, you know, before Christmas is coming. So it just become really hard. And we just decided that we need to eject from this life, really.
Yeah, and I think we noticed a change anyway, or I certainly noticed a change with the office environment. It just was becoming more and more robotic. Like, so I think that was it. It was almost like everything was starting to build towards where the office isn't as fun anymore. Yeah. It's becoming a bit harder to take time off.
COVID ruined it.
Like, yeah, COVID definitely
Massively.
shifted it. So there wasn't enough really to keep you in what we were doing. I think that was it, wasn't it? And then when Ruby passed, like, I think we didn't get another dog, did we? And I think deep down we knew it's because we wanted to keep things flexible.
Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think because we were watching YouTube a lot more as well, and we started to see other people who were doing it, I think we sort of needed that as well to think, well, it's not completely like bizarre to just think you want to go and do something like this because they're doing it.
And for me, it wasn't, it was watching YouTube, and then it wasn't watching, and no disrespect to some people out there, but desperados who had nothing to give up.
Yes.
Some people were giving up so much, you know, really good jobs, and, you know, and then over the last 2 or 3 years, it's been ramping up of just seeing more and more people. And I get it. We were probably algorithms.
You're in the algorithm.
Yeah.
I get that. And then, you know, our rejection was like, it was a dead cert for me and you after talking about it. So
yeah. And you start to realise, and I think you have to have that, you almost have to have that wake up moment, don't you? That life isn't forever. Yeah. I think we all get sucked into that system of
time,
thinking that
currency.
Just keep working and then you'll get to retirement and then you can live life. And then how many times have we all seen it where those moments can be quite rare? Like, are you going to be healthy enough to enjoy it?
Did you have that moment? Was there a kind of key point that you thought this really is the trigger? You know, you're obviously kind of planning it. You're not replacing the dog. You're thinking about your jobs. Is there one moment that you can put a pin in and say?
I think me getting ill quite a lot with I had like gut issues, really bad gut issues. I mean, I had many times off where I had to go to the doctors. They thought I had mental health issues and everything else, and I'm thinking, I haven't, and it was down to diet because we were vegetarian for like 7 years.
Yeah,
and I think. Everyone's different, everyone's physiology and makeup's different, but I think it actually made me ill. Right. Not eating, not necessarily meat, but there was certain nutrients I wasn't getting. So long story short, I was really, really badly ill. I was like, had every type of issue under the sun, you know, headaches for like months on end, couldn't sleep. I had to sleep upside down in a sleeping bag in our bed. I had to sleep in a separate bed. I had to sleep on the couch. Not really told many people this story, to be honest. But looking back, I was really quite ill, and I thought this was it. I thought I was literally dying. It sounded quite sounds quite theatrical looking back, but it really, really wasn't. I was getting pins and needles all over my body.
You weren't living, you were existing.
I was just about existing. Yeah, I was hardly eating. I had issues with food. I was having panic attacks.
Yeah,
all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, your first panic attack was scary.
Was really scary. Yeah. So. That happened a few times. So then I found a nutritionist online, and luckily, and this was sort of like COVID time. This was like 2022, I think it was, COVID time, and I found this nutritionist who was based in Eastbourne, I think it was, so not far. So I couldn't physically go and see her. So we had this Zoom call and everything else, and then we went through the usual consultation, and everything else, and she said, "Yeah, you're not very well." And it sounds crazy, but I needed to talk to someone out the family and friend circle to just like think, you know, what the hell's going on with you? it come back, and we had this Zoom call, and she was great. She was black and white, really matter of fact. I mean, like full on. And she said, Lee, she said, out of 11,000 people I've treated, she said, if it was a queue, she said, you'll be at the back of the queue of who is the illest I've ever seen from your stool test. She said, you've got 0 good gut bacteria. She said, you've got nothing. She said, you need that good gut bacteria to survive, as you were just saying. I was just living, just about. And she said, right, we need an action plan, quick, smart. This needs to be done. So she said, 6 months, no alcohol. I didn't drink much anyway. She said, no sugar and no carbs. So long story short, I followed this for 6 months religiously, started feeling so much better, had to introduce kefir and sauerkraut and all this types of stuff into my diet. Quite low doses, because you start having stuff like that, it will destroy you. It will like make you even iller.
And are you still working through this period, still doing the job, still holding everything down?
And they thought I was, a few people, initially when I first went off, my boss's boss thought I was lying. It's like, wow.
Yeah, 'cause you did have to have a little bit of time off.
I had to have a lot of time off, and it happened. It come back a few times, and it's only in the last like couple of years I've started to feel a lot better.
Is it the second brain you call it?
Yeah,
It's
linked, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. That's why they say I've got a gut feeling, because they're talking. So you've got to look after these guys. So that's why we've gone down the route and the rabbit hole of actually looking after ourselves with food.
So I think that, combined maybe with me reaching a point and thinking, well, I've kind of gone as far as I wanted to work-wise, and something still isn't quite, I'm still not satisfied. And then you with maybe getting a little bit older, I think all of that then combined.
I was looking for a get-out clause.
Into thinking, like, why don't we just do something different? Why have we got to keep staying in this lane? Like, we don't have to. It's going to be scary to get out of it, but scary's going to be more exciting than staying
comfort zone.
And being comfortable and just buying random crap.
Material
and
rubbish.
I mean, we looked at our garden at one point and we were like, what is all this stuff in our garden that we've been buying? And like you sort of like realise you jolt out of it when you make that decision, don't you? And it's almost like you've seen yourself, like in the past, sleepwalking around your house and garden, just filling it with crap.
Shuffling around just
like what was that
lemons.
about? So I think, all of those things came together, and then that's sort of what led us to make that step. Whereas I'm not sure, had some of that stuff not have happened, would we still be in that zone?
At one point, I looked at our driveway and we had a convertible thing which we just used occasionally, and then we had this Tesla thing, and then we had this big camper, and I'm just thinking, why have I got all this? It's just like tax, insurance, maintenance, and it just got too much. We had electric bikes, we had nice mountain bikes,
which we never used.
Let me ask you a difficult question, but I could imagine anybody watching this would will either write this in the comments or thinking this way. No kids?
No kids.
So you took the choice not to have kids, and we've just chatted about this, right? Similar stories. Do you think by not having children that's a bit of a gap in life, that's kind of where that mindset comes from? I mean, I'm kind of using that from us, right? Yvonne and I chose not to have children. You know, we've both got our own reasons for that. A lot sit with me and my past with my parents and seeing how difficult life was for them and the situations that they went through, early divorce and everything else. And Yvonne and I were just focused on being a couple.
Yeah.
And I know that will come up now. For me, it's just a case of being like, well, we just didn't go down that route, and we've always just looked after ourselves. Do you think that plays into it in any way? I feel like that has to be a valid question.
Massive. Of course it does, yeah. We had so much more spare time in our brains and our thoughts together and individually to understand that, more time to think about the future and life and what are we doing, what's our purpose and everything else. For me anyway, so.
And I think you're right, because I think if you've got kids, you're always going to be thinking, well, what do they need? Do they need stability? Do they need routine? Do they need to, if they've started school, do you then take them out of school? And we've travelled a lot, and we've seen, over the years, parents
lots of families.
with kids, and we're always like, God, you know, that
In hard
hats off to
situations.
them, because that's, you know, it's hard enough sometimes just like navigating stuff, just me and Lee.
I totally agree.
Oh.
Lee and I were just chatting about this on the way down the road. You know, people that watch these kind of videos, I'll either hear in the comments, it's easy for you because there's the two of you. And I often refer back to people that we meet, like Darryl, for example, who's on his own and is travelling. And then you meet Richard and Carrie, who've, you know, another couple who have got their kids with them, and they're out meeting families that are doing it. So if you want an excuse as to why not to do something, you'll find it.
Of course you will.
You want to
exactly.
find it in, right? I think the real point that's kind of coming through in a lot of discussions I have with people is just a real question mark around burnout, exhaustion, career fatigue, health issues, and then just feeling like, not that there's a gap because, I mean, our circumstances, not that there's a gap because there's not children there, but just really questioning the point of, you know, the goal of life. Like, what are we doing together
massively.
Is this just going to be a goal of work forever? Until it's over? Or finding something else?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it'd be interesting because I guess we've not properly spoken to anyone that's done this yet, that's got kids, of like finding out how it was for them. And like all the process that they had to go through. But yeah, for us, it was just, you know, it's just us two, isn't it? Thinking about what do we do? And then, you know, we think about friends and family and how that factors into making the decision. So it takes out a certain element of, because you either kind of regret the decision of not having kids, and you maybe stay in your lane and you think, oh, you know, something's missing from life, and is it not having kids?
Having the dog helped.
I think that's it.
Massively.
She was our baby, wasn't she?
Yeah, of course,
definitely. And there are days, isn't there? We say, like, in a parallel universe, like, is there a Sarah Lee Gatto that have got two little gattos?
2 little portions.
A little lemon one and a chocolate meringue. And maybe there is somewhere. But for us, it was like, okay, we've got potentially X number of years left. And I think, not to sound morbid about it, but I think that's what kept driving us with this, was like, this isn't a given. Like, I think it's so easy to just think this is just, you've got loads more years left.
One of you goes downhill, it all changes.
So I think we just kept thinking, no, we've only got potentially however much more time on this planet.
Didn't we read something about 20 summers or something? And I was thinking, I mean, it's like 20, but then I spoke to a friend of mine in Thailand, Richard. And he said to me, that's why I moved to Thailand, Lee, as well, because he said, everyone thinks of everything about summers in the UK. You know, you've got this like 3 or 4 week window of like enjoying yourself on the outdoors and everything else. But he said, I think of 365 days in Thailand. He said, 20 years of 365 is 20 years, not just like a year or something of like banked up of 20 summers. It's something that stuck with me. And I think hitting 50 2 years ago, really, 40 was fine. 50, I just saw this Hawaii 50 number come up and I thought, shite, I am freaking 50. That's not even middle-aged. It's a bit older than middle-aged. Middle-aged is right, you know, average age is 75, 76 allegedly. Depends where you read the source material. But I just thought that middle-age is 35, man. 38 or something. So I'm 50 and I'm thinking we're gonna do this, and it wasn't an easy decision to do what we're doing.
We do think about when you're traveling and the effort that goes into it.
Oh.
You know, when you're lugging a suitcase around on a train platform and you're like, if I fast forward my mindset to being like 70, what would this be like?
Not gonna happen.
You know, and that's so many people are like, well, I'll wait until I'm retired. I'll wait until I've wrapped up the work because I've maximised the pension and the savings and everything else, and then I'm going to do it. And to your point, we chatted the other night, right? We were talking about 40s versus 50s. And viewers of mine will say, wait till you get to 60, John, and wait till you get to 70. And I'm like, well, I'm not rushing into that. No chance. I'm enjoying this period now because I'm capable of doing it. And I wonder when the capability kind of runs out and what comes after that period.
Totally agree.
We're also different, aren't we? I mean, we've seen people in their 80s and 90s, and they are fitter than we are.
They're
you know,
sprinting.
and that gives you that bit of hope, doesn't it? To think, oh, you know, they can do it. But then equally, you see people that are younger than us that are really struggling.
Yep.
And then I think you just have to have that reset in your mind again of just...
This is when the health, this is when the focus on what you're eating, what you're doing, the exercise, all of that kicks in.
The old adage, health is wealth. You know, it's all that sort of...
There's no guarantee as to what age we're making it to,
No.
what that journey looks like along the way, right? So,
exactly. There's you know, there's age span, isn't there? And there's health span.
Worse.
So you reach a point and then you decide, right, we're going to change this up, right? So go out of jobs.
Yeah.
And where's the house and what's going on with all of that, and also tied into this money, right? That's always the question that everybody wants to know.
Of course it is, definitely.
How do you manage our money? So what happens with the jobs? What happens with the property and the cars and everything? Tell me about that.
I guess it's kind of all gone, isn't it?
It's all gone. It's
woohoo! We've got
all
some good drilling going on.
Angle
now.
grinding,
There's an angle grinder in the background.
Awesome.
Welcome to Malaysia. It's a beautiful part.
Yeah, let's make it more comfortable.
Let's build a skyscraper in the middle.
I mean, the initial part of that is it's all in the rear view. It's all gone. It's all been sold, given away, donated, vintage, eBay, everything else.
How did that feel when you were getting through it all? Did you have a moment where you started to feel lighter, or do you have the initial panic and oh my God, what are we doing?
It was a bit of both. It was all of it.
Yeah, it was such a roller coaster, and you must have found it as well, where I sort of went through periods where I was annoyed that we'd gathered so much stuff over the years, because then we're now in this position where we had to start getting rid of it. Emotional attachments to stuff that you think, oh, well, that's nice. I don't really want to get rid of that. To then starting to get rid of some stuff and feeling much lighter and thinking, this is good. This is needed.
It was very much a bell curve.
It was so up and down, wasn't it?
Yeah, and selling my sneakers was quite emotional, which is just quite. And then I'm so over that now. I've just seen so many sneaker shops over here, and I'm thinking it's just so much of that plastic. Just look at it as though it's plastic now.
Yeah,
it was nothingness. So
you just to clarify for the viewers, you were a sneakerhead, a collector.
Yes, a collector.
In that world of like things, right?
Yeah, I was. Yeah,
and
a bit of a.
Took a decision for that to go.
It just got to the point where I didn't even know what I had. This stuff, and Sarah would be like, "When did you get these?" And I'm like,
should we just
I don't know.
give an example? So if sometimes I might find him, and I'd go into the bedroom, and he'd be going through the wardrobe, and he'd be pulling out his sneaker boxes like it was Christmas, because he'd forgotten about 10 pairs of them.
Oh,
and he'd be like,
the dopamine
hit. It was. It was like I
these ones.
Every sneaker freaker would always sniff their trainers, not worn trainers. They'd always sniff it because. It wasn't about.
I would like to actually know if anyone would comment. Do people sniff their trainers?
No, they do. They do.
I'm not sure.
They do. 100%. It's not the glue, because I'm not.
It's the newness.
It's the new smell of that, and it is partly the smell of whatever that smell is, and it's obviously glue and weird leather and everything else. But it's dopamine hit massively. Yeah, all day long. And as I had the same pair in 6 colours, and but that's what. I still fondly say that's what we do, because I'm still a sneaker freaker at heart. I'll never give that up, because that's part of my history. But they started being sold. So when the money, you're right. So when the money dropped into my account, I was building that up and buying currency for our journey. So I've got a little bit of Australian, a little bit of New Zealand, a bit of. So anyway, it's all in there, and I just thought, all the little coffees, all the little treats I buy, all the little cakes and stuff.
The memories.
I'm thinking the memories are so much more important than a pair of sneakers I've never worn.
That you forgot you even had.
So there's a lot of it out there. So it's but it's gone. It's gone.
So the stuff all went, and then house is gone, cars are gone.
Yeah.
What are you down to now? Like a small storage unit somewhere? Yeah.
A storage unit that's probably still a bit too big.
Yeah.
We still retain too much.
I said to Lee when we left the storage unit for like the last time, because you sort of went back there a few times, because you're still a little bit precious about the stuff. And now, and I remember when we locked it up for the last time, I said, imagine when we come back here next time, we're probably going to look at all this stuff and go, what were we thinking? Because
it will be a secondary.
It's a bit of a random load of stuff that we've kept, isn't it?
A lot
I'm
of
not
the
quite
Random
sure.
paperwork, random
Yeah.
items and things. I know it's
Before you say anything, can I say it was watching your videos that really
Don't blame him.
Really,
Don't blame him.
I was going to
He's
say
a nice guy.
Yeah, it's you, John.
What did he do? What are you blaming him for?
You massively helped us with that because it was such good timing.
It was good timing.
It was really good timing. I made you watch some
Made
of
me
the,
watch
made you
it.
watch them because I was like Lee. I was like,
my hostage videos.
yeah. I was like, it's this couple, John and Yvonne. They're doing it. They're like having to downsize. And when you were going through the process, and you said things like that, you're like, it's just a bed, it's just a sofa. You said one thing. You're like, if it costs more to store it than it is to go and buy it again at some point, why store it? And I kept saying that the whole time we were going through the house and we were looking at stuff. I just kept thinking that in my head. I was like, it's just going to cost more to store that, so it doesn't make sense. Sell it.
Yeah, let me put
But I'm
this,
not sure if
let
had
me put
we
this
not seen that.
£1,000 bed in a storage unit
Yeah.
for 3 years and pay $3,000.
Exactly.
Exactly, yeah.
So you massively helped with that.
I kept my
Thank
rave
you.
posters.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
all
you
my
have to keep
rave.
stuff
I
like
mean,
that.
that is just you can't.
Yeah.
That some of that artwork from the early '90s
When
is just nuts.
when it's condensed down into something so small like that,
Yeah.
then it's easy to make those
Yeah.
decisions.
Yeah, of course
right?
it is,
It's
yeah.
like it's big things.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, a trainer collection is going to take up room, right?
Oh,
and it's like
that's
and
why we're
also,
struggling.
Again, it's like, when does the money peak on these things?
Yeah.
When is it at the height of its market? What happens when it drops? And that's the same with the record collection. I've been talking to a guy about selling it, and he was about a year before, and he was talking about a price, and then that price was shifting, and I'm like, so there's always going to be some bullshit and all of this.
Yeah, of course there is, yeah.
Taking things with a pinch of salt. But when you're trying to sell things individually, it takes time. It's
really
all
difficult.
the effort that goes into it and shipping things, right? So you're always kind of looking at that. But then, like we say, when it's a teapot or something, it's like, my granny had this, or something like that.
And
where
that's
you're like,
what we had. We had those really small individual.
Yeah, and I had saved. I couldn't let it go.
Oh, your granddad's
but I've
crockery.
Still got a box of crockery, and it was my granddad's, and it's in the storage unit. And we've never used it because again,
Never
you're like,
opened it.
I don't want to use it in case it breaks stuff. So this whole
the
box
heirloom factor
of
and
crockery.
the
It's
family
amazing what your
family
brain
ties.
does, isn't it? Of just attaching yourself.
And
to
just
stuff.
before we went, we googled it, and it was actually worth quite a lot of money.
Yeah, I think it's good stuff.
Handmade,
It's good
hand-painted stuff. You like everything was
yeah.
made better back in the day.
Yeah, but also it's interesting, isn't it? Because you have in your head, and it's a very good exercise. And I'd almost encourage people to even think about starting to look at your stuff, because you have in your head how much you think stuff is worth.
Downsize early.
And just because you've got in your head, well, it's worth that.
It's worth nothing.
You just think someone's going to buy it for that, and then you have this really we had a hard realization.
Maybe 6 months or a year before, and we walked around everything that was kind of important and put a price on it. We've got a notepad on our phone, or a spreadsheet, where we were like, this is this, this is this, this is this, just to give us an idea financially what was in the house. And then when it got, a year later, and we were actually selling it, and you're seeing the realistic numbers. I mean, you've got to be realistic when you walk around, right? There's no point kidding yourself. Like, oh, this piece of art on my wall is like $2,000, and you're like, it's £100.
Plus, you have to think of the bigger picture,
Yes.
what you're willing to sell something for.
Yeah.
In order to get to this stage.
Exactly.
Right?
Get it moving.
Yeah.
So now you're travelling, you've been on the road, you've been around a whole host of countries. Before we talk about the countries, how are you paying for all of this? Where's the money coming from? How are you surviving?
It's a good question.
It's a good question. A lot of it's interest. We weren't going to sell the camper van. We were going to retain the camper van, put it into storage again. That was going to be £1,200 a year. And then it would degrade in storage, and it would be rusting. And then the last time we went away for a few months, 6 months, we come back and we needed a new alternator and a new bloody battery. So that cost us £600-700. So we just thought, it's just stupid. So we decided, like, if we can get 30k for it, that'll fund probably 6-8 months away, maybe.
Yeah.
And it will do, because we're trying to sort of like keep costs down and everything else.
Yeah.
So we sold that to a really nice young couple from Wales. They were really nice. He come along, bought it straight away. But this thing was worth more than 30k.
Yeah.
We spent 30k doing it up. It was a long wheelbase Sprinter, silver. It was lovely. It had all the nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
He got an absolute bargain, yeah, and so he took that way. So we got that, and that's what's funding us for this
At the
segment
moment, yeah.
to get us to give us that rocket lift off at some point to start earning money.
Yeah.
Obviously, Chase and stuff like that, and putting stuff in some banks, which is quite good interest and everything else. And I think that Chase one, I did research, but I also saw you say it as well. You get the initial
1 year booster. Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously that's doing quite well, I think.
Yeah.
So I think we've got multiple streams, but what we want to do is not rely on that at some point in the next year,
Exactly.
and then start once that 30k runs out, essentially, because 30k is a lot of money, but it's also not.
Yeah.
It depends what food and drink you like, and we like lots of expensive food for some reason.
Yeah.
Which
So
is,
you're travelling, but the part we talked about the other night, right? You're not holidaying. That's
No.
the part that's in your mindset.
far from it, but it's
Yeah.
really hard to just come out of the holiday mode. The sun's shining, a nice cold beer maybe once in a while. You go
Yeah.
out for dinner. You see like the tourists are all dressed up, going out and doing things, and we're like I'm wearing the same t-shirt for 2 days in a row. It's just it's just not normal, and it's hard to bring your the mindset shift to come and do this stuff is massive. I mean, like, obviously it's a teamwork thing as well, but when you're actually doing it, you really have to adjust expectations of everything. Yeah. Everything is is a conversation of like, well, we can't do that because of this, and then you have to really limit yourself, because I mean, you've been here a long time, but we've been here like a week virtually already. Right, and I'm honestly not too sure what we've massively achieved yet. Our internet's not been great. So there's stress replaces stress with different stress. Different sort of things happen every day. And then I don't want to become that older person who is whinging and moaning about that freaking small thing.
Yeah.
But I have already. But we need to start addressing that, because those little things were just nothingnesses back in the day.
Yeah.
Because you're working and paying bills and everything else.
And that's the thing. I think the mindset shift that you have to go through from being like having that regular income coming in that you're just so used to.
Massive safety blanket.
And it's what we've always both had, to now thinking it's fine, it's all going to work out. But in the back of your mind, you're thinking, how long have we got until that's not working out anymore? And that's going to be really hard. I think really hard to keep monitoring, because of course we're going to want this to work. And we're going to want to.
We don't want to go back to that.
Traveling and keep showing people and helping other people who maybe want to do the same thing, or. But yeah, at some point it's like, what's that point where you think, okay, like we're running dry now.
So you're not sitting on. I think a lot of people have this belief that when people are escaping, they're leaving with, you've got $1 million in the bank, you're comfortable.
No.
And that wasn't really our case. We're just getting by.
Yeah.
We're bringing in sources of income where we can.
Yeah.
We're adapting to life and trying to figure it out along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you've sold your camper van, you got a bit of cash from it, and then you're thinking beyond that, like what income can you bring in? You've got your social media accounts, and we'll link those below in the description, the various platforms that you're using, TikTok and YouTube, etc. Beyond that, are you thinking about working remotely, or that's not in your mindset at this point?
Possibly, because
it depends what you mean of working remotely. So working remotely within what we used to do, so I don't want to be a digital nomad as such, of doing that IT stuff. And don't get me wrong, I get offered jobs all the time fully remote, but the time difference in Asia and stuff's different, so I'd have to do that from Europe,
which might be something.
It might be a top up in maybe a year or two, but we've given ourselves 12 to 24 months of just doing this and giving it, a good rub of just trying to go and make it work, something different. And there's no plan.
Yeah. No, and I think that's it, because people think that you've always got it all figured out.
There's no plan.
That's kind of what I wanted to hear. Maybe you say, because again, we've talked openly. We don't have a plan.
No.
We're just kind of figuring it out as we go along and enjoying life outside of the UK bubble, the household bubble that you've kind of been living within for that time period, and seeing what you're capable of. We sat the other night chatting about, you take the work part out of your brain, and suddenly you start to think in a new way, right? You start to reinvigorate all those
creator
Yeah.
and, you know, the kind of hidden talents that you've forgotten about.
Everything that was
Yeah.
sucked out of you when you're,
Yeah.
all of those things. So you've got 2 years to kind of explore
Yeah.
all of
Yeah.
that before you think about something else. I think that's just really key for people to hear that are thinking
Yeah.
about this. Is like, you know, what is the end game? Where are you going
Yeah.
with all of this? Maybe not worry about that right now. You know, just worry
Exactly.
about kind of enjoying yourself and relaxing
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit.
I mean, every few days you do get one of those sticky moments where it's just like, oh, what have we done? You know,
Yeah,
it
like,
does.
what are we
It's
gonna
only
do?
it's human nature, or it happens, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean,
like, we had it all, had it all there, and we've, I think you can think of it in like 2 different ways. As in, like, we've given everything up, and we started back at like 0 again, or whatever. Or you think of it as in, no, it's just, in my mind, it's just having that flexibility to try something different. Yeah, it might seem very risky.
blank pages.
But then it was also a too big a risk for us to stay as we were, thinking, well, what if we regret it if we don't do it? So I think that started to outweigh the feeling of, oh, this could be like, how are we going to fund it? Because at the end of the day, what do you want from life, isn't it?
How much
Like,
money do you actually need?
And I think no one ever really talks about that enough. Is what are we thinking we're building? Like, yeah, how much do you need to survive on? And we don't know that yet, because we don't know this. We haven't spent enough time in this life of how we're living now. But we'll learn. We'll keep learning. And if something has to give at some point, then it does.
We realise that. Sorry.
Pivot, yeah.
And we realise that, you know, in 12 months, I get a 3-month remote job and earn £500-600 a day or something, because that's going rates of IT stuff. You know, it's not a lot of money, and it's a lot of money to people, and it's a lot of money to us when you're not earning any. You know, you jack back in. So I'm happy to maybe jack back in if I need 10-15k over a year to keep this lifestyle going, on the edge of that contract or something.
Yeah.
So that's not being discounted at all, I don't think. And the same as you, but you'll sort of do some coaching stuff. Sarah's got her own website and everything else. So sort of going to ramp that up.
So the HR background I've got, there's a lot. I mean, there's so much there, and I think that's the other thing as well, isn't it? Is you sort of, you play yourself down like quite a bit in what you know and what like skills you've got that you can transfer to other things. So I think, you know, my years have been in HR and understanding people and being able to, I guess, empathise and build those people skills. And I've worked with a lot of leaders and, you know, at all levels, directors. And so I think I've got a lot there. It's just, and again, it's going to be, well, how can we also, between both of us, you know, we're not silly, so we're going to be able to bring something
We've got some
together.
skills to pay the bills, hopefully.
But you just have to have, like you say, you've got to have that brain space and that time, haven't you, to work it out. And I think there is this tendency, isn't there, to always like, you have to know what you're doing. Yeah. Like, it doesn't make sense for you to not know what you're doing and what you're going to do in a year and what you're going to do in 2 years. And
this is why most people won't do what we're doing, right?
Yeah,
because it's just, they're looking for the comfort factor. Yeah. And the comfort factor is, I've got a full-time salary coming in, I've got a roof over my head, I've got a mortgage, or, you know, I'm renting a place and life is comfortable, and that all feels like too much of an unknown.
Yeah.
And that's the pull, that's what keeps you in the cycle, right? That's what keeps you in your lane, as you were kind of using with it, Sarah. That's what keeps you in that world at that point, and stepping outside of that is too much of an unknown for most people. For most people, and not to kind of downplay. And, you know, people that might be watching thinking, you know, I'm thinking about this life, but it does take a lot to kind of step into it, right?
It is scary. You know, it's not, I'm not going to, you know, bear around the bush about it, beat around the bush about it, but it's kind of scary of not knowing what the plan is, but also exciting as well. So it's so many emotions that come through both our minds. But if we weren't both dialed into this and just like thinking, we have to be scared, we have to be excited, we have to be like, you know, motivated.
I think you almost have to have that pressure, isn't it? It's like having pressure of deadlines and stuff like that. That's going to like get you to just start to do stuff. And I think,
well, you've taken away the corporate structure of the
Yeah.
job that you had, right? The world
Yeah.
that you lived in there, and now you are the boss of yourself
Yeah.
at this point, right?
Yeah.
And it's realigning that mindset
Yeah.
to being like, well, we need to look after ourselves. There's no
Yeah.
CEO, there's no
No.
CFO, there's no monthly salary dropping in. We've got to figure this out from there. And you pick up these little hacks like, oh, we'll put some money into Chase. All right, well,
Yeah.
that's done. I'll
Yeah.
move it over into this account and all
Yeah.
that. And then in the meantime, we'll do this or we'll do that, and start your socials, start thinking about it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just that it's exciting as well. I think looking forward, I mean, we're off to Australia in 5 weeks, and that's not to discount being in Malaysia. We love Malaysia. We love Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely
we
it.
love. We're going to go to Thailand to see friends, but we've got so much to do before we go back to the UK in December, and then seeing friends and family be meaningful and see them and catch up with them properly, and actually have conversations about, sort of what they've been up to, what you, rather than, because when you break it down and you live in the UK, how often do you actually see friends and family anyway? And do you know what? Sometimes you can write it down and go, we see your mum and dad a lot more regularly than we realise, but, my mum lives in Gran Canaria. My brother lives in London. I've got another brother who lives in Gran Canaria. Hardly see anyone. And it's not, it's geographical is obviously a massive thing, but also we all lived in the same bubble in the same town. I honestly don't know how much we'd still see each other.
Because everyone's got their lives.
Everyone's got their own life.
Busy.
Everyone's busy doing their own stuff. And I think, and maybe it's my mindset about, since COVID, I think people have become more selfish.
Here's one that we discussed, right? Friends and family, when you leave, how much do you hear from people back home as you're travelling around, living a slightly different life? You've stepped out of the UK. How much are you hearing from people back home?
That's a very good question. So off camera, I'd be like, la, 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 la. But on camera, not much. I mean, we keep in contact with your parents quite a lot.
Yeah, my mum and dad probably.
But we're called the More Holidays Please Club.
Yes,
because
my mum and dad love
They're
travelling.
retired, golden generation, final salary. They've been having a great time for the last 20 years nearly. Caravans, going away months on end. They're living the dream, which is what should have been happening down the line for our generation, I guess.
Yeah.
But not going to happen, is it? Unless you're. So we keep in contact with them a lot, but not really anyone else my side.
I think you sort of had this romantic feeling, don't you, that you're going to go and that
people would be invested in your journey.
Yeah, and I think I've always been someone, it's got to be give and take. Like, I'd never expect somebody to always just be reaching out to me all the time going, how are things out, if I don't ever ask them how they're doing.
It's a fairness thing.
It's got to be fair, and it's got to be, two-way. But yeah, I'd probably say it's that awkward thing sometimes, isn't it? If you've got, and I blame social media in a little way of, some of the groups, because you don't talk to people as much now, do you? As in, just pick up a phone and chat. So quite often it's relying on WhatsApp groups, and then there can be times you might want to add a few photos to a group or something, but then if you don't get anything back, you then feel a bit silly, don't you? Like, that inner bit of you is like,
do you think the distance kind of creates a realisation of the reality of the comms?
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah, definitely. And I think I think we were chatting about this the other day, weren't we? But it's like, if you're in people's sight and you've got that, I don't know, some people I think are a lot more like, you need to be in the actual physical environment because of how they are. And if you're outside of that, then maybe it's not that people don't care about you or don't love you anymore. It's just that they might go and chat to someone else because they're nearer.
It can be lonely being in another place because you're on your own doing your travels. To us, we like that. We kind of like the peace and quiet. I like the kind of anonymous aspect of walking around somewhere where you're just a kind of nobody. I like that part of it. But if you're used to a very group mentality, when you step out to go and travel or go and live somewhere else, it's going to put even more pressure on relationships that you would have had back home, and there is a real reality to that side of it.
It can get lonely very quick.
Yeah.
I mean, it can get, but I think we've always been quite, self-autonomous between us. We're not loners at all, because Sarah's got lots of friends. I've got a few good mates, but we don't get to always see them very often. And then I think we just kept ourselves to ourselves quite a lot, didn't we? Over the last few years, done our own crazy holidays. You know, our travel ones. We've never really done like you know, beach type stuff. We used to do some bits and bobs, didn't we, back in the day? But then we started to go to places like Borneo, and it just started to opening up our mind of like, this world is nuts.
It's
you
big.
know, it's big. I like trying different food. I like meeting random people, just like Joshua up the hill. You know, he was definitely a character. Handed us his one of his church cards, which I'll have a little look at later. But just seeing, I think it's the small things of like, and I think it grows as people as well. Not to be too like, you know, airy fairy about it, but I don't know. You learn more about yourself and each other on this journey as well, and you know, stuff you wouldn't even think about. And I think it's changing my personality and mindset the more we travel.
Yeah.
But also makes me sometimes a lot more impatient about how crazy different places are to what your normality used to be back at home. I still call England home fondly, but we haven't got a home.
No.
And that's hard to deal with sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of those typical things, isn't it? You think if you could just go back home for a cup of tea and a breakfast with some of your mates and your family.
What are your social media? What have you got? You got TikTok? You got YouTube? Tell me the details of them so I can share it with the viewers, and then people that want to follow along can come and check out your pages.
Go on, Sarah. What are they?
Yes, so we've got TikTok. So our main name is How to Travel.
Our surname, How to Travel.
And we like it because we think, how to travel. We'll show you how to travel.
We thought it was quite cool.
But it's a play on
maybe
name.
It's just our name.
Yeah, as you do when you come up with these things.
Yeah.
So under that, we've got, TikTok, we've got Instagram, and we've got our YouTube channel.
We've also got Sarah Lee Like Gatto. I like that one.
Yeah, on TikTok we've got Sarah Lee Like Gatto, and so that's kind of the main things. And then we have like our own personal accounts still on Instagram and stuff. But what our intention is to start building up our YouTube.
And you guys have got plenty going on.
Yeah.
All your locations. So you're here. You're off to Australia next.
Yep.
And then after that, you're in Bangkok towards tail end of the year.
So we've got Australia, then we're off to New Zealand for 3 weeks, and camper vans for both. So we've got camper vans already pre-booked, a proper one this time, because without sounding, you know, silly, we've done it before, but we did it really, really, really cheaply last time. It was like a car. It wasn't like a camper van. It was like sleeping in the back of someone's bag or something. It was
You start questioning the money decisions then, right? Was it worth saving?
Was it worth cutting?
Exactly.
So this time we thought,
have no sleep.
We'll still do it on a budget, but we'll get something where you can actually stand up in it and actually not, you know, break your back. So we're going to do that and do it properly this time. The Whitsundays, New Zealand, into Queenstown. Never been to Queenstown, so the South Island, and then we'll do the inter-island, the ferry over to Wellington and up to Auckland. Nice. And then we're going to do it properly this time, because the first time we went to New Zealand, we didn't actually want to go. Sounds crazy. We did this like round the world thing and did all the flights all joined together, and then we're like, we just want to go to Australia and America. Just being like naive idiots probably. And then we ended up going to New Zealand. We did 17 days, and we're like, we didn't want to leave.
Oh, we loved it.
Did not want to leave. It was like 1950s heartbeat. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Just really cool. It's like nice people, nice food. Scenery is just disgustingly good.
Yeah.
It's like being in Norway, but in the south.
Yeah, and we sort of kick ourselves now. I know you can't ever turn back time, but we think the amount of stuff we could have shown people on YouTube over the years.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
We have, because we love 80s movies as well. And
music.
And movies in general. So over the years, we've gone and visited loads of movie locations.
Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
You've got all the ideas. You just need to be in the moment and remember a video of you.
Exactly. Because there's a YouTuber who passed away at the end of last year, and we loved him to bits. He was the same age as me. He's called Adam the Woo. Right. And he was one of the original YouTubers, like from back in the day. He was like, he lived in Celebration, which was like the little town near Disney World in Florida. And he was just so cool. Look him up, anyone he's got such a therapeutic voice.
Yeah.
And quite often we listen to people on YouTube who just soothe us.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't even take in all the content. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's better than having the news on. I just want to listen to his voice. And he used to just do all the Disney. It sounds a little bit weird for some people maybe out there, but he used to do all the Disney parks. He used to do road
he'd do
trips
them again and again and
He'd
again.
do all the movie places all around
Yeah.
America. Lovely guy, but he passed away. He literally passed away in his sleep. He'd just done Europe for a month, flew back, and I think he had a coffee, woke up, and I think he had a heart attack.
Oh wow.
So and he was
Just don't know the minute, do you?
exactly, and he was only 51, and he was the same age as me. We're into the same sort of like Back to the Future, Goonies, all that good stuff. You know,
Yeah,
I reminisce
love
about
it.
that every bloody day. I'm nuts, but and it just resonated with me. We took it quite hard. Felt like I knew him.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna stalk him and turn up, and all that sort of stuff. But I felt like I knew him, and that I just thought, and we were looking forward to his new series this year of like he was going to do he wasn't going to fly anymore. He was just going to do all American road trips.
Yeah.
And we were so looking forward to that
Yeah.
because we get all of our ideas from YouTube. Half of the stuff that we would have done over the last 10, 15 years, we wouldn't have done it if people just hadn't opened up our eyes, which is why I think YouTube's got massive value for educational,
Yeah.
you know, looking around, trying new foods, meeting new people, new countries. I think that's what YouTube's done for us. I think it's just like opened up our
definitely.
eyes.
Yeah.
All right, that sounds like a perfect way to wrap it up.
Yeah.
An hour and 10 minutes.
Wow.
guys. That's
Wow.
awesome.
Jeez.
Awesome. Loads of good content and all of that. So check out Lee and Sarah's socials. I'll put the details down below. Thanks so much, guys, for
That's all right.
chatting with us, telling us your story.
You've
I
been
mean, when we met
awesome.
up the other day, we were like, oh, we'll just have a coffee for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
crazy.
about 8 hours later,
It's
right,
mad.
we were like, we better call this quick before somebody starts ordering trays of tequila.
That's what I was worried about. Yeah, I knew that could have easily gone that way, easily.
But we'll definitely be doing that at some point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
We'll bump into each other again. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank
That's all right.
you.
Anytime, mate.
Greatly appreciate it.
And thank you for all that you've done.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you. I appreciate
lovely
it.
couple. Yeah.